Well, hello there. Okay, what we're going to do today is just talk about how to actually play Galactic Civilizations 4. What is Galactic Civilizations 4? Do I want to play the game or not? Just some basic questions and some basic ways of playing. We're not going to do anything crazy. When the game first starts, you come up to this screen. There's an actual fantastic cinematic before this as well. Um, so I skipped that, but that's okay. Generally, where you want to start is obviously a new game. Normally, it'll default to showing you the Terran Alliance. This is a space game where you are basically the leader of a civilization, and there's obviously going to be some exploration in space. There's going to be some things that you'll have to do to keep your people happy. Um, you're going to be building things, you're going to be researching technology, you're going to be making armies to fight against the oppressive aliens that might be trying to kill you. And you might be making friends with some of them. Each of the races has a different theme and a different way of playing them. There's a lot of different races, and yeah, each one has its own kind of unique thing, which makes it kind of exciting to keeps the game more current, I guess. The more you play it, you can try out different races. You can try out whether or not you want to, be evil or good or somewhere in between. Um, for this particular demonstration, I'm going to pick a different race just because humans get selected a lot in these how-to videos and things like that. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to pick one of the easiest races to start with, and that's the Mimot. I've actually never played them personally, but I have a pretty good idea of what to expect when I play them because I see them a lot in the game as enemies or friends, depending on what race I'm playing. And they are very, very easy to play, and they're very, very powerful. So it's an easy race to kind of learn the game with. And they're, the cute little fluff balls. Oh, so cute. And dangerous. And so many teeth. But anyway, let's talk about the things you expect to see on the left. You're going to see their special abilities. They are fertile. So they start with 2 additional workers, and their population grows 25% faster. So this is important because workers are assigned to ships that can colonize other planets, for example. Workers can increase your starting manufacturing, and the growth rate is just referring to how fast they reproduce. And the Mimot need their fast reproduction for a number of reasons, one of them being their special ability. So they have the proliferation ability. So whenever they actually construct a ship in a shipyard, they get 2 ships instead of just 1. But all their ships are weaker, so they have less hit points. Which, obviously, in a one-on-one fight with some of the other races, 1 ship against 1 ship, this is not going to go well for the Mimot. And the Mimot, or the Mimot, I'm not sure how to pronounce it actually. I'm going to call them the Mimot because it sounds cuter. The Mimot usually build 2 ships at once, so there are 2 ships at minus 25% hit points, which would equate to a total of 150% hit points. They are going to beat the average 1 ship from another empire, right? So anyway, that's the idea. They start with a colony ship. They start with a survey ship. They believe in cooperation as their main ideology. They're a carbon-based life form, so they have to eat. This is maybe one of their problems that they kind of grow into. So they're an average race with above average growth rate. They'll quickly overwhelm planets and consume all available food. Well, that is true. They do seem to have a potential food problem, which I haven't really seen or experienced myself, but it strikes me as likely as that they would just run themselves out of food fairly quickly because of their reproductive rate. Alright, so on the next screen, I actually apparently have played them before. I don't remember, so I'm going to say no to that. I don't remember playing them actually. That must have been in one of the really early games. And I think I just immediately quit that game actually if I did start playing them, because I don't remember even making two ships at once. So anyways, they start with likable. So they get a +2 diplomacy bonus, which is great. Makes them, well, just generally less likely to get attacked by other races, which is great for someone first starting the game. And their ships are fast, and they are not courageous. So they're more easy to take down in invasions. And of course they're productive. So this is their generic ship style, which is pretty cool. Ships are a big part of the game, and you'll see why. It's all about how you explore space around you, and ships are how you do that. So my map colors are fine. Let's go next. So the only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to take the difficulty level down to normal, and make myself close to other races. So normally I have to change these settings because I'm doing some other videos that are require me to be on a much higher difficulty level. But I'm just going to change those settings and then hit next. Actually, I think I'm going to make myself in a larger sector as well. No, starting sector large. There we go. These are the other races that I'm going to put into the game. Oh, what the heck, I'll throw them all in. Even my own race. And then you start the game. The other races are just who you could meet. Everything's kind of positioned randomly in this game, so you don't know who's going to start where and so forth, other than you can kind of select whether someone else starts in your sector or not, and how big your initial sector is. So those are some of the settings that you can change. I suppose I should have went over all of those settings. Yeah, okay, I'll go back. Let's go back. Because you're going to want to know about that as a new player. Alright. Going back. Yeah, we talked about this. Blah, blah. Okay, so here's some of the other settings. So all of these settings are things you can change. So your difficulty levels here, if you want to go easy. So it goes from beginner to godlike. I normally play up in this area, but for this game, like I said, I'm going to go normal. Civilization proximity, that's just how far you're away from the nearest race. So I'm going to go I'll go others in the sector. Game pacing. So it just affects how fast your manufacturing is. I'm going to go normal. Normal research rate. That's just how fast you can research new technologies. We're going to several clusters. So clusters are basically the number of sectors. These are sectors, like each of these individual sections. That's all different sectors. So they could be joined, or they could be, only linked to one. Like this one right here is only linked to the one. This one has like 5 links to it. You know, you could just, it's just random how you start. The starting sector size being large or tiny or huge. So we're just going to go large. Starting sector. Star frequency is just how many stars should be there. So we're just making them common. Worlds, how many planets there should be. We're going to just throw in tons of them and throw in lots of habitable planets. Throw in some of the extreme planets. So extreme planets are basically just specialized planets that that are unique and are kind of cool to land on. Anomalies. So anomalies, you can travel around with a survey ship, which you start with, generally speaking. And you can travel around and you can investigate these anomalies, and they will give you special events in the game. I'll show you when the game starts. Relics are special things that were left behind by a race of precursors, aliens that no one really knows what they are, what they do, or why they're there, but they're there. And the relics can give you bonuses to different things. Ascension crystals just help you win the game. Resources in the game include durantium, antimatter, just special things that you can collect to make your ships better, or make your empire better, or create special buildings on planets, or any number of things like that. Asteroids is just, they're obviously just extra production for your world. When you harvest asteroids, you can obviously get more materials. Nebulas are just special places that you can hide ships and make it difficult to travel through those areas. Yeah, they often have Illyrium, which is a special resource in them. Black holes are pretty self-explanatory. You can't go that close to them. They're that's where antimatter is found. Advanced settings. You can, okay, so tech trading is just when you're talking to other races, it allows you to trade tech with them. Tech brokering, disabled AI surrendering. So you can disable their ability to surrender to you, which is not what I do. So colonies will transfer on. Colonies are special planets. So you have core worlds and you have colonies. Core worlds are your main planets, and colonies are going to be places that you go that, like, it'd be like if you start off in our solar system, it'd be like Mars would be a colony world because it's not very habitable, right? You could get a lot of materials and stuff potentially there. There's like obviously lots of stuff there that you could gather and then send back to Earth. So anyway, that's kind of the idea. And Fog of War. Fog of War exists in most games. I don't think I need to explain that. So there's also victory options. I'm actually going to put on the Prestige Victory. I don't normally play with it. You can win with Influence. So Influence is just how far your empire has stretched and how the word is passed to other civilizations. You can actually influence other worlds to join you if your influence is high enough. So they'll just join you instead of fight you because they like you better. Conquest is all pretty obvious. You can just crush your enemies and win that way. So we're gonna not put a month limit, but anyway, let's just play. And you might not want to start with all this extra sectors and things like that. You could just start with a singular sector and see how if you like the game. In this case, I'm going to go to my usual setting just to keep things normal. All of this is common. My ascension crystals are uncommon, but anomalies are abundant, so we'll have lots to do. Yeah, sure, I'll just make it random. Why not? Start the game. Start the game. Okay. Now we're actually going to start, and then we can actually look at how do you play the game. Sorry, I skipped by a lot of that for the new players to the game. Just going to open a pop here. You might hear that in the background. Alright, so you get your descriptions on the left, which of course you can read through. The Mimot have evolved to the point that they say that they no longer resemble their original body forms in the slightest, having expanded into the galaxy and served as servants, cooks, and when larder was low, the meal itself, the Mimot, have until recently been mostly known for their diligent work ethic and nutty flavor. Having evolved on a world with 5 other sentient species, no one is quite sure how it came to be that the Mimot were the only ones to survive. Only recently have the Mimot, come to possess the technological capability to begin building their own galactic civilization. Strengths and weaknesses: the Mimot reproduce at an incredible rate. Where most species struggle to find new citizens to populate worlds, they discover the Mimot struggle to find worlds to house their ever-growing citizens. So there you go. That is all about the Mimot. Okay. So you start in a sector. Here's my home planet of Fen. If you look on the map, I'm just going to expand in and out using the mouse scroll wheel. So it expands in and out. So I'm going to explain some of the things you're seeing. Right here we have some nebula. So if you hover over it, you have 75% reduced movement when you're traveling through a nebula. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. There's a black hole right here. So you just can't travel in this area at all. What else do we see on the map? This is an ascension crystal next to my homeworld, so I could go mine this for ascension points. So I can capture and study precursor ascension crystals to learn the secret of ascending to a higher level of existence. Kind of cool. So one of the ways that you can win the game. Control relic. So this is one of the relics that I was talking to you about. This one actually would give me more control per month, which I'll talk about control in a little bit. And then we have Durantium, which is a resource. More Durantium, which is a resource. This is a special planet. It requires extreme colonization. So extreme colonization is a research thing. So whenever you see these, when you hover over these planets, if they're orange like this, it means that you need something. You can't just land on it. And because this is a barren world, probably like Mars, obviously you would need to have some sort of ability to terraform the world in order to live on it, or have like domes or something with breathable air that is created. Extreme colonization is a research that you can learn that would give you the ability to do just that, survive on that planet without need of anything else. So that has a -2 population cap because it's a barren world. Then we have this planet here. So this is a class 1 poor world. It's not as big and fancy as this one, and it's certainly not as big as our home world. So it's all of these little planets. So I'm going to explain the numbers here. So it says Aries 2, and then under it's like 00061. Well, what does all that mean? Well, the first 0 is the manufacturing that it would send back to your homeworld. The second number is the research value that would be sent back to your homeworld. The third number is money. That's why it's a diamond. So it's like how much income it would provide you. So that would be like considered, maybe the planet has a whole bunch of diamonds on the surface or something, if it had a high number there. The fourth number is the food that it would send back. And being the Mimot, food will be important. So I'm kind of glad that I found that planet. And then you have the culture. So we were talking about being able to take over with the culture. So this is actually my zone of influence. So that value of 1 there at the end is just how much extra it would give me. My zone of influence would increase a little bit based off of that. This is a 00201, so this one has a little bit of money on it. It's a low gravity world, gives you some extra manufacturing and tourism. This is a class 5 poor world. It's a 10123 world. So no research again. So far all 3 of these planets, none of them have had research. This one did. So it had 2 research on it. So that's the only one I've seen with research. And then this last one. Oh, this one's got some food and some... This one's got a little bit of everything except for influence. So it's a jungle world. Gives you some food. Okay. So these little things are anomalies. So this one's an artifact. And they all the artifacts look the same. And so this should be an artifact. This should be an artifact. This one's an artifact. Another one. So artifacts are just special things that you can use to just give you bonuses. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will send my survey ship. So this is my survey ship. You start selected on it. I'm going to send it over here with a right click and survey that. So as we notice, my ship is now saying survey in 3 months remaining. If I try and move my ship over here, it'll give me a pop-up screen that says, are you sure you want to abandon the current in-progress survey? Generally speaking, you're going to want to say no to that because you're currently trying to survey something. So let's do that. Probe. We're just going to send this out into the universe to go exploring. So the thing about probes is that they have unlimited range, so they can go however far away they want. If I select my survey ship, you're going to see this line. This is as far as the Mimot can travel with this survey ship. So I can't go to this star over here. But if I select my probe and expand out, you'll notice everything's open because it has unlimited range. Basically, it just means that it probably doesn't have anyone living in it. It doesn't require life, and it just goes out and robotically does its thing. Then we have colony ships. So colony ships are what you need in order to colonize distant planets. So we've seen the ones that I can quickly grab. So we've seen this one, this one, this one, and this one. So in order to go to a planet, you actually send a colony ship to it. So if I want to get the resources off of this world, which I definitely do, I'm going to want to send this colony ship to it. So I'm going to send it to this one, though. And then, well, let's see. I've moved all my ships, right? So this is what you're going to experience in the game. You've moved all your ships. What else can you do with a turn? I'll talk about a little bit of the other things on the screen. So right now I'm showing that I have 3 faction power, 4 wealth, 2 citizens, 1% prestige victory. So I'm pretty far away from winning the game because it's the first turn. This is my monthly income. This is my control per turn, which I talked about. You can use control to do certain things. I'll show you what that's all about. And then we have food. Right now we're producing +6 food. Cool. And then research. We're not researching anything. And if you notice down in this corner, that's some more research information. Then you have your bar at the bottom. Your civilization, leaders, ideology, executive orders, your data bank, galactic challenges. So we're going to go into each of these real quick. So research, I would like to research something. So we have space elevators, and it tells you in each of these little cards what the research does. So space elevators allow us to quickly move resources in orbit and begin constructing supply ships. Supply ships sound like they pretty much just give you supplies, right? So, I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory, but they do give you special things. And then Elon's lift doesn't even say what that is. Supply modules, presumably that's what carries the supplies, right? So you can just kind of guess your way through some of this stuff. Star bases. Okay, so that allows us to start building star bases. Provides you with 2 free constructors. Constructors are what harvest things like the Durantium, the Ascension Crystal that I saw, the Control Relic that I saw, antimatter if there happens to be antimatter by that black hole that I saw, or Illyrium if there happens to be Illyrium in that nebula that I saw on the map. But we have to explore in order to find out if those things actually exist. But we did see the Durantium and the Control Relic and the Ascension Crystal. So this would provide me with 2 free constructors. Armed shuttles, if I want to go military, this is obviously the way I'm going to have to do it. Like my pizza might be arriving here soon. Yeah, there it is. Alright. I'll be back. 1 second. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that. Suppose I could just edit that out, but anyway. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take armed shuttles. Oh, and then hyperwave radio gives me a coordination beacon of Babylon. Upgrade entertainment gives me an additional enacted policy. Obviously, these are things that you're not going to know what they do until you take it. Some of the stuff, like this gives me Stalker M0, Garrison, hypersonic missile, and military stimulus policy. Leads to all of this offensive stuff. The leads to is very important sometimes, so like it tells you what the technology will lead into. If you really want more description, you can go into the technology library. And you can look at all the different technologies that are available. It's a very long list though, so we're not going to worry about that. We've already got governance and we've already got warfare. So we can already build armed shuttles. And we can already research communication technologies. Okay? So you can leaf through this and start reading through some of the things that are available. You can also look at it from a point of view of like, in order to get space elevators, I needed colonization, which I have. If you notice, it'll say the time. So if it says 0, it means you have it. 5 is how many turns you can expect it to take to research. So there's that extreme colonization. That would allow me to colonize that world that I saw on the map. So if I want to get extreme colonization, obviously I'm going to need to research space elevators. Then planetology, and then I could research it. So I don't even have the option for that right now. Right? Space elevators. Let's learn it. Let's take it. Okay, so we're going to take that because we want to go to that planet. We want to be able to go there. Okay. And I'm just doing things, I'm not necessarily making the best decisions in the game. So, don't judge me on that. I'm just showing you what most people would be doing if they start the game and what to expect. So there are better decisions to make depending on what you're trying to accomplish, but I'm not going to really do that because that's not how people start playing this game. People start playing this game and just to kind of have fun, explore the game, and do what they do. So this is a special anomaly. It's a precursor anomaly. I noticed it showed up when my survey ship branched over. So this one says it's heavily defended. So obviously you're not going to want to send a survey ship there and try and fight it, because you're probably going to die, because there's, heavily defended. That means you're going to need some battleships per hit, or something. Until you actually hit this, you're never going to know what it actually has for defense. So I recommend just waiting until you have a few military ships and then maybe check it out. So empty policy slot. Alright, well, we have different policies. So we have, on the left, it has our taxes and overall information on manufacturing, planetary research, etc., etc. This is where you can look at some of your numbers. I'm producing 17.3 food. Obviously, that's only plus 6 food total, because I'm consuming 11. My people will continue to be a problem in that regard. My taxes are at 33%. My people have an overall approval rating of 73%. I think most civilizations would be pretty happy with that number, right? My maintenance is just what the costs are on my planet. Trade, I don't have any trade routes, but you can develop trade routes with other empires. And you can also automate this stuff. So we're not going to do that, though. So Heart of the Empire. So this would increase my influence growth and gross income if I chose it. So it would give me gross income bonus. So at the beginning, you're never going to know what some of this means. So you're not going to be able to know what it does until you choose it. So let's choose Heart of the Empire for a second and see how that affects our income. So you'll notice it went up to 4.32 from, actually it doesn't really say what it was before or what it's going to go to. This one increases it to 5.43. But now it's not properly going back. Yeah, this one would improve it to that. Let's just choose population boom. This one gives me a gross income penalty, so we'll see how that affects things. 2.59. So obviously these things can drastically affect things. I'm going to probably choose to be on population boom for fun. Security lights. So this would be what my income was before all of that. So 3.97 is where it started, because this just reduces my crime. Shoddy construction. We're prolific. So construction costs minus 50, but my maintenance goes up to 300%. So I build things very fast, but everything costs so much more. So if I put that on, it immediately bumps my colony maintenance up to 4. But it will give me some massive construction bonuses, so that's pretty cool. I don't remember having that. So, but population boom, because it raises my approval, it gives me a little bit less money to play with, but I have 1,000, right? It's not a problem. 200% growth, that sounds extremely good. So let's do that. Population boom. It's probably the best one there. I don't know. They all seem pretty decent. The first one didn't seem like it did much, just 10% bonus here and there. Like, that doesn't seem like it's very good. And you gotta go with the percentages, right? Something gives 200% sounds a lot better than something that gives 10%. Makes sense, right? Okay. What's this? So now I have an idle core world. So I'll click on that. Oh, where are we now? We're on a planet. This is my home world. These are all my citizens. If we hover over them, we can actually see where they're at. These are all skilled laborers. If we click on them, we can make them farmers instead, or we can imprison them. Okay. So diligence. So it says farmers boost the world's food based on their diligence. Okay. So let's take a look and see if we have any people with high diligence. Diligence of 3, not that guy. Diligence of 3, nope. Diligence of 5, maybe him. 5, 6, nice. 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to turn these two into farmers because they had the highest. So he's going to be a farmer and he's going to be a farmer because that just sounds like they keep talking about food being a problem. So so that changed my food a little bit, I think. So if I, yeah, look at how much that increased. So it's taking away my manufacturing to make food. But like I said, that doesn't seem like a terrible idea. So I lost a little bit of manufacturing, but I gained, like, I don't know, quite a bit of food. We're just going to do those two guys, though. That's it. Okay, so you'll notice that there's tiles. Tiles tells you about approval. So if I click on this, left click, I can build an entertainment district, which is an approval improvement. Okay, so this is an approval tile. This is an approval improvement. So obviously you'd want to build that there. Financial district, that's a wealth improvement. And then a manufacturing improvement. So manufacturing districts, financial district, entertainment districts. Obviously, if you want to improve the approval of your world, you're going to want to build these. And we've got wealth tiles. We've got manufacturing tiles. Wealth, approval, a food tile. But there's nothing here that produces food. So obviously, there's a research that has to be done. Echoing Hearthstone, artifact improvement. Upgrade this artifact to unlock charges that will boost the influence of a selected world. Okay, so that's kind of cool. This is an influence tile. This is either a research or a manufacturing tile. So obviously there's research improvements. We don't have those yet. Wealth, food, wealth, research or manufacturing, big research, approval, more wealth, more research, +2 to military. So there's obviously military upgrades. And this is Heliosaur, a trade resource. A beautiful, exotic metal, popular in many luxury items. So when it says adjacency level bonuses, that means if I build something on this tile, and it's a military building, it'll get a +2 to its level. And the adjacency bonuses are just what they sound like. So if you put two financial districts right beside each other, right here, they would boost each other as well. And I'll show you that in a second. More approval. This is a big manufacturing tile. So you start with 3 improvements that you can build. So this is a research improvement. So special building. So we're going to want that on a research tile. We have 2 of those big research tiles. So let's stick it here, because there was a couple of research tiles next to it as well. So if we want, we could use that and surround it with research to boost it. As you can see, this building at level 3 gives +9% research to your civilization. And its improvement effect also gives +20%, so it seems like a really good building to build. The industrial centers obviously are where we're going to put manufacturing, so we're going to put that down here. So this one's going to be level 5 because it gets +2 from the capital city, and then it gets +3 from the tile itself. So it'll be level 5 right off the bat, giving it an extra +5% to manufacturing. And then of course we have our money. And I don't have any special money tiles other than these ones. This seems like the best area to group my money. So let's build that right. Actually, let's not build that there. Let's go a little further away from the science relic here. We'll go here. It puts me in range of that, in range of that, and in range of this, in case if I wanted to make that. Because our wealth is clearly one of our low things, and same with our science, so that's why I want to build the science first to get that going. We're talking strategy now. You might not want to put that much thought into it at the beginning of the game. But we're just building for the sake of building. I'm not going to put any other things on the planet for now. It'll take a long time for those to complete anyway. Okay. So now I have an idle shipyard. Okay, what am I looking at? This is how much military production I get from my homeworld. I'm selected on a colony ship, or I could build a probe ship. It's going to take 9 turns for the colony ship, 5 turns for the probe ship, or I could do this 19-turn treasure hunt to give myself extra money. I'm going to choose to build a colony ship. And as we know, my race has a special ability. When I make 1 colony ship, I'm going to get 2. So in 9 turns, I'll have 2 colony ships. Okay, so there's a lot to do in the game. It is a strategy game, so there's a lot of things to do. And I'm still not really done my turn. Have I explored everything that I could? What can I do with my money? What can I do with my control? All of that is down in this section. So here's the executive orders. This is what I can do with control right now. I could draft colonists. Get an extra colony ship for a 2% approval hit. I can do a telescopic takeover. So I can reveal an area of the map. And I can print money. That would give me a 10% approval hit, but it would give me 500 credits. But I already have 1,000, right? I don't really need that for anything yet. Or do I? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Alright, so I'm going to show you the telescopic takeover. So we're going to click that. Do I want to spend it? Sure. So if we expand out, let's just randomly... Okay, where should we go? Let's go... Let's see, Earth is a yellow star. Maybe we can find Earth by hitting these 2 yellow stars. Okay, so we got a couple of yellow stars here. More planets. Some of them are pretty good. That one was pretty good. This one's okay. That one's okay. It's kind of bad, actually. 30% pollution. Eesh. That one requires extreme colonization. Okay. Cool stuff. So that's just going to show me what's going on in that area. Alright, so let's go back here. So now this is gone. I spent some of my control, didn't I? Why is it still at 100? Didn't I just spend 15? That might be a bug. Alright, well let's see if I can get away with it again. We're going to draft a colonist. Do I want to spend 33 control? Why, yes I do. $33. Okay, so it must have just caught up on the control. It didn't actually change it. Okay, so we've now got, oh, another colony ship. So that one's going there. I'm going to send this one to this world. Colonize the planet. Sure, I'll just leave it with the default name. You can actually change the planet names, though. If you want to personalize your game a little bit, that could be fun. There we go, our first colony. A little animation for most of the things in the game. So now, if we go back to our home world, we will notice that our numbers have changed a little bit. So now, if you notice, this is 6.9. Remember that was like 21 or something? Or 21 here. It was 17 or something right here. Now look at it. That's because I just grabbed this world, which gives me 21180. So it gave me a whole bunch of food, a little bit more production, some research, some money. Gave me a little bit of everything except for influence, and that sent it to this world. Now notice there's a little line trickling down here. That kind of indicates which planet it's feeding and the decay that it has. So decay of 5% means that I lose just 5% of those numbers as it goes to Finn. Okay. Talks about planetary defense, 13 and a 13. Probably not a big deal. Don't need to worry about being attacked anytime soon. Right? Well, it depends who's next to us, but okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so we could just end our turn here. Certainly an option. We still don't really know what to do with this money, right? Well, let's take a look at Galactic challenges. Alright, so these are special things that are available that you can do. So the only one that I have available is called the Orb of Dragonol. The Orb of Dragonol has been discovered, marking the start of a terrible new chapter in the galaxy story. This twisted relic grants great power to its holder, power which increases over time. They will become the ultimate power in the universe if no one stops them first. Reward 50 prestige. So I have to search the galaxy for anomalies, use the artifact to open a pocket universe, and then retrieve the Orb of Dragonol. Okay, so let's begin that challenge. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, I love power beyond imagination. Alright, so now we see this little icon. Tells us our progress on the mission. It's up there. We haven't done anything yet. So now, whenever we find things in the universe, maybe it'll give us something with the orb. Okay? Pretty straightforward stuff. Now what? Okay. So we have the data bank. This just tells us our faction power compared to other. This is your stats basically, so it's not going to give you much information. Like it helps you when you compare yourself to other civilizations. It tells you how you're doing compared to them. We've already talked about executive orders. I don't have any that I can do anymore. Now it just says I have those two because I don't have enough points to do that 60-point print money one. Ideology. What's this? Well, we don't have any culture points. So when you get culture points in the game, you can take these. So we'll talk about that later. It's just an extra part of the game. Then we have our leaders. Okay. So that's a lot to take in, I know, early in the game. But it just makes the game more interesting. So we can recruit leaders to help manage our civilization. So they come with a monetary cost. This is what we do with our money. So obviously this guy's extremely expensive compared to these two. What makes him so much better? Well, he does have 15 social and 10 diligence. That's pretty good numbers. This guy's pretty good though too. This is the loyalty, 80, 70. They're all pretty loyal guys. This guy's also got an 11 social. So obviously the Mimot are very social creatures. At least they certainly appear to based off of that. This guy's got 3 abilities. He gives me 10 extra control points right off the bat when I recruit him. He's very charismatic, so he has +3 social, +2 persuasion. He's an advocate, so as a diplomat he improves the public image of my civilization. So I haven't met anyone, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to recruit this guy. He would take almost all my money, right? So let's recruit. So you can click and drag, or you can just double click to recruit them. We're going to recruit both of those guys. Now I can't even afford this guy. That printed money thing is starting to look a little bit better now, eh? But approval is very important in the game, so I usually don't recommend taking that. But if you really, really want to play with the game and see what it does, that's a good choice to do. Alright, so ministers. So Minister of Exploration. If you hover over anything in this game, it'll give you a description of what it does. So, and the only other way you can figure things out is just to throw guys in a thing. So this one requires social skill, and that's pretty much all this guy has. He has -2 social, but he's got 11. So he's rude. He's rude, but he's got really good social anyway. So we're actually going to just stick this guy in as the Minister of Colonization. What does that do? Gives all of my colonies plus 11% approval. So it's important to remember that there's a difference between a colony and a core world. So my core world didn't just get an 11% approval bonus. It's that colony that I landed on that did. Okay? And he will give all of those colonies a bonus. Okay, so our governors. This is our leader. The leader of the Mimot. Wallow the Second. He is a civilization sovereign and a libertarian. He does not have very good intellect. I mean, compared to his other stats. 22 social. That's a crazy number. So he does modify my people's approval on my home, on this world specifically, my home world, and gives me a 10% manufacturing bonus. And he's got 11 resolve. So then we have our diplomats. When we meet other alien civilizations, that'll come up. What's this commander thing? Okay, well, assign leaders to ships by drag and drop to spawn the ship by your home row. Commanders cannot be reassigned. Okay. Let's take a look and see. Okay, so it appears I have 3 ships available. These ones require some sort of technology. I know what the technologies are and how to get them, but they specifically tell you in the red there at the bottom, they require Minister of Defense. This one requires Precursor Origins. This one requires so 2 require Minister of Defense, 2 require Precursor Origins. Alright, let's look at these ships. Special abilities. A legendary escape ship, particularly suited to outrun Dragon fleets. So has a move of 9, sense range of 6. Increased hit points based on the commander's diligence. Increased attack based on the commander's resolve. Alright, so my guy has a 6 and a 10. Those are pretty good numbers. Okay, so +1 move per level. So obviously ships can level up because it says +1 move per level. Alright, what does this one do? Can spawn a probe. So apparently this ship can just spit out ships. Cool. It has a little bit of attack. So that the numbers on the top tell you the attack and defenses of the ship. So the top is the attack, the bottom is the defense. So this ship has 4 defense against beam weapons and 8 kinetic attack, which is like, actual like missiles, and well, not really missiles actually. It's more like a machine gun or something in space. You could look at it. It actually shoots a physical projectile. And then the middle number is missile weapons, so they fire further. So there's just 3 different types of weapons: beam, missile, and kinetic. And each one has its own thing to it. This ship has 8 beam attack, or 8 kinetic attack. This one has 8 kinetic attack as well, and 4 kinetic defense. This one has beam defense and beam attack. It also has a 75% chance to escape from battles. Okay, so an escort. So all 3 of these are escort ships. I like the fact that this one has a probe, and it has high attack, the highest attack of the 3 ships. These 2 are kind of equal for attack. Obviously that first one moves faster because it gets +1 move per level. But we're going to take this probe one because that sounds like a good idea. Okay. That gives us a ship next to our homeworld. Look at that. Okay, so we have 9 movement already. So what do I do with this ship? How do I level it up? How do I create a probe? So it says I can spawn a probe for 1 Promethium. What's Promethium? Well, that would be something I would have as a resource, like this. Except they're orange. And I don't see any here. And I don't see any here. I seem to recall seeing a planet with Promethium on it. That one has a xanthium deposit. Must have been one of these. There it is. So this planet down here has Promethium on it. So that's how I could get my Promethium. I could learn extreme colonization and then land on that planet. Get Promethium and then build a probe for free. And a probe ship is just basically this thing, right? It would just produce one of these for 1 Promethium. That doesn't seem like a bad thing to do. It's obviously not something we can do at this point in time, though. So we can either explore with this ship, so one of the things that I already know about the game is that when you investigate these anomalies, you get experience. So one of the things you could do is take this ship and have it join this fleet and then get experience for doing that. I'm not going to do that. I highly recommend doing that in a regular game, but we're just playing for fun. We're not on any super hard challenging game. So let's go exploring. We're going to go down here and we're going to explore. And that's all we can really do. It says assign a leader to an available commander ship. Your advisors will tell you what they think you should do. They think I should recruit more leaders, but I obviously can't. We already know that. This guy's not affordable. This guy's already a minister. I mean, I could take him out of that role and then stick him in a ship, but that doesn't seem like a good idea. I have him doing something, so we're just going to pass the turn finally. So we've kind of looked at everything in the game. So now that we've done pretty much everything we can do, we're going to just play the game. All these other civilizations are acting. Okay, that was quick. Saving the game. I have it on save every turn, which I recommend putting on. That's like in the options somewhere. This is not a survey ship, so it can't look at these anomalies, right? We can just explore. Come down here. Oh, look, a yellow star, another planet. That one's pretty good. We'll go down there next. This probe ship is gonna see if there's anything more in this area. More Durantium. And then we're just gonna run this way. Try and see if there's anything on the other side of the planet or the star. Cool. So we could just pass the turn here. Our money hasn't changed much, right? Still saying put an available leader. We can look at the different tabs. Or summary. It says we're ranked first in influence and 17th in research and 17th in income. Not so good. Second in military, probably because we recruited that ship, the command ship. Sixth in manufacturing, first in approval, but we're last in these two categories, which isn't ideal. So let's land on this planet, which will not help. It will not help give us more research, but it will help the economy situation a little bit. We can look at the planets that we have seen in the game. Our colonies are here, our core worlds are here. We can select them from here, or we can select them on the map itself. You can sort. Here's our different ships and our different star bases. Okay, so I'm just gonna pass the turn. Okay. Oh, we already met someone from the corporate sector. A gray-skinned hominoid alien from the corporate sector. Appears back at us from a view screen. The alien has 4 eyes and a thin smile which gives the impression of friendliness, though that may be a dangerous assumption. Behind the creature, a clean, even sterile-looking spaceship can be seen. Some words are exchanged, but nothing can be understood between you and them. The thin smile remains, though, all in good time, it would seem. So now we have options. Huh? What? Fake smile and nod as you understand, then proceed to close the incoming message. I'll say, huh? Huh? You'll notice that there's this little black dot here. That's a dead world class 0. Can't be colonized. So the corporate sector. I have 17 wealth. To my 3. Well, that's not great. So the only reason that we saw that is because they sent a probe through that area that we saw. We opened this up. This stays as something I can view for a while. So any ships that pass through there. So we're going to see which direction he's heading. Down. Is he up here, maybe? At first anomaly survey. So we've surveyed our first anomaly. That was with this ship. So we probably found an artifact. So I'm gonna look at space junk next. See what I can find. These make up the flotsam and jetsam of the galaxy. They are of rarely and great value, but provide unique opportunities. Well, unique opportunities sounds fun. So let's see what that does. So this little button says I have ships that can move. Oh, my command ship. Okay. So somehow I ended up in the middle of an asteroid field. That's cool. So we're going to go down here because we suspect that that's where the corporate sector might have come from. And a special event. A way to communicate. We've encountered the corporate sector. As of yet, we've been unable to communicate with them. But our scientists claim they can develop universal translation technology if they are given time and resources. So we'll assign... Yeah. So that gives me another mission. I get a culture point when I research that technology. Cool. So yeah, we're just gonna move in the direction that we thought they might have come from. Just hit turn for now. I think we're almost done space elevators here. Oh, I can move this ship. There's a class 20 world that I could actually land on, colonize. That's cool. Send this guy down here. There's some thulium. That's another resource. So now we've learned space elevators. Choose a new tech. Oh, there's that universal translator. We want to be able to talk to these new people that we found. They seem friendly. Just queuing up travel. Trying to explore my area. I do not see the corporate sector. I thought they might have been here because just the angle at which that ship was going. But now it turned around and went a different direction by the looks of it. So who knows? Maybe they're just way down here somewhere. We'll just keep going. queue that up so I don't have to click on it. And we have a colony ship being produced in 2 days, or 2 turns. Universal Translator will take 4. Nothing really to do other than just kind of watch the universe unfold here. Oh, look, a colony ship. So they are busy trying to settle some planet. I think they came from here. So we're going to go down there and find out if they're... Yeah. So now we can see their zone of influence. They just landed on this planet. Okay. So we don't want to use our farmers to go on a colony ship. I'm just gonna pick this guy. There's no real... I'm just picking him because he's somewhat well-rounded, I guess. Next. So we have 2 colony ships because that's what we produce an extra one each time. I just want to find some guys that are fairly well-rounded. This guy's pretty well-rounded. 1, 2. This guy's got a 4935. That's fairly well-rounded. This guy's the best one for being well-rounded, so we'll pick him. Now we have some extra ships. Our shipyard is now idle. Now we can produce a supply ship. Alright. Well, let's do that to find out what it does. Okay? So normally I would just keep building colony ships at the beginning, but I just kind of want to show you guys what things do. So we're going to build a supply ship, even though it's going to take a long time. We did just get 2 colony ships after all. So I think I want to send a guy to this planet over here, because that was a really good world. And then let's send one to... that one was actually pretty good. Let's send one here. It's closer to the corporate sector, so they're more likely to snatch that world on me, if I want to prevent them from doing that at all. We've still got a ship that can move. Oh, I finished that anomaly, so we're gonna head up this artifact next. And there's this little arrow above the ship. That means it can level up. So this ship is now past to level 2. Has 2 experience out of 14. So it got 10 experience total because it only took 8 to get to level 2. And now it has 2 extra, so that means it got 10 experience for doing 2 anomalies. That's what I mean, like you get lots of experience for doing these anomalies. Okay, so an extended reinforced hull would take 3 Durantium. I can put crew quarters on, which will give me 20% more hit points. So 40 is my hit points now. 20% more. That'd give me like 48 hit points. I can also increase the move of my ship. Currently moves at 10. That would give me 11. Or I can increase my sensor range by 2. Currently my sensors... What are my sensors? So if I hover over the picture, it tells me what it has. That's a sensor range of 6. Just how many hexes it can see away. Let's do that. I like being able to see. There was also an option, 2 options that I couldn't take, like an Illyrium, which would boost my beam attack, and the antimatter thing, which would boost my missile attack. This ship has a special short-range missile volley, so it can attack enemies within 3. I don't have any enemies nearby though, so no need to do that. Here's that event. The Retribution. The remains of a powerful warship are scattered across the debris field. We should be able to reassemble the bulk of the ship from what remains, but it had a unique engine core and missile system, and both are missing. Interesting. So that's going to put another mission on the side. The parts of it. So, reward, unlock the retribution at our shipyard. Gather parts of the warship, 1 out of 3. So we've got 1 piece. Alright. Well, maybe we'll find more in those junk. So we're going to want to do space junk. Might have some of those pieces, right? So there's some space junk out there. I only have 1 survey ship, so can't really do much about that. So our probe continues to explore. We got 3 more planets to look at. 111, 311, 12341. That one's pretty good. And this one is not very good. That one's pretty good for production. We like production. Well, obviously my probe is... no, we want to go this way. Because we want to explore a new area. And let's just zone on in. Now we can look at the enemy world. So they are producing 38.8 money a turn compared to my, I don't know, it was a lot less. 3? So these guys are really rich. They must have a lot of money. Their other numbers are slightly better. Well, on better production. Way better on food. They have a little bit more research, I think. Yeah. More research than me. That's okay. I'm just going to keep going down with this ship. And that's what we're here to do. We could actually attack if we wanted to. But they have a pretty good ship there. It says we'd win the battle though. That ship has 20 out of 20. Our ship has 19 out of 19. But our attack is 12 to their 8. They do have kinetic defense though. So, I don't know. It says I would win, but I'm not so sure. Plus it would make our races go to war with each other. They have more ships than me. They got 2 extra ships here. And an extra planet. 226. Wow, look at that world. It's pretty nice. We've now finished Universal Translator. Okay. Well, these guys look like they would like to trade with us. So let's build a freighter. We're not alone. Through diplomacy, we can trade with civilization, negotiate treaties, declare war, and much more. So it'll help you. Tells you kind of like if a relationship is particularly important to us, we can assign one of our leaders as a diplomat. So that's just going to the talk screen. These guys are ranked first economically and first treasury, second in everything else. So that means I'm beating them in almost every category. I can speak to them. So let's do that. We hoard nothing and delight in bringing the goods of the universe to those who desire them for a reasonable profit. I have a trade proposal. It's time for you to die. That obviously declare war. I have something else in mind, or goodbye. So let's see what this something else in mind does. We would like to publicly proclaim our never-ending friendship to you. This increased relations with this civilization by proclaiming friendship with them. However, this civilization's enemies will dislike you for it. We require financial help. We would like to offer you financial aid to strengthen our relationship. So this would probably damage our relationship. This would probably add to our relationship. I could tell them to get their ships out of my territory, but they don't have any ships in my territory. We would like to publicly I'm going to do this one. We accept your expression of friendship with the value it is worth. We hope our relationship will grow even closer in the future. So now I can just continue talking to them. Let's see what they have to trade. They got 647 credits to my 475. I have some treaties that I could... Oh, apparently I can give them open borders. They could give me nothing. I have a resource agreement from the minor civilization. Okay. They also have that. I have space elevators. They have armed shuttles, which they're not even willing to trade me because it's red. I have 3 ships, and they have 7 ships. Okay. So I'm not going to trade them space elevators. And I don't really have anything else. So let's give them open borders and see what they're willing to give me. So if you click on credits or credits per month, they will not give anything for that. They will give me 70 credits for open borders. So okay. Can I get more out of it? 80? Sure. What about 90? No. Okay. What if I persuade them? 60%. Threaten them? No. Let's persuade them. Okay, so you notice that bar moved way over here. Alright, alright. 140. I can get 150 now instead. So let's do that. Open borders for 150 credits. There we go. Obviously, persuasion wouldn't work every time. It might go the other direction and make it so that they don't want to trade with you at all. Alright, we're done talking with them. Alright, another explanation point. A way to communicate success. Hopefully they'll like what we have to say. I get +1 culture point, +1 diplomacy bonus for 100 turns. Cool. I have an ideology point. Right now, the only thing I can take is self-governance here. Innovation. Equality. Flexible. Cooperation. I could get a free colony ship here. But what I'm going to do is actually take the Liberty self-governance one. So that opened up mobility rights, which gives +2 starbase range. But this one gave me 10% approval on all colonies and a free leader. So I just got a free leader out of that. There he is. So he had +3, and he increases liberty. Okay, so I could stick him in a ship. So he is 710. So those are good numbers for ships. Do we want him in the Puka? Yeah. We're going to put him in the Puka. That's the one that escapes from battle really easily. So that is back on our homeworld. So now you'll notice instead of 6-4, it has 9-4. That's because I had high resolve, and it has extra hit points based on his diligence. Okay, so let's continue exploring our galaxy. I think that covers most of the basics of the game. So that's kind of what you can expect in Galactic Civilizations 4. There's obviously a lot you can do with these races. I'm going to have freighters, etc., like that. And yeah, that's just basically how to play the game and what to expect. And there's obviously strategies that you can use to be better at the game. But if you're just going to play for fun, just go out and do your thing and explore the universe, have fun playing the game. There's obviously hostile races and friendly races. The corporate sector seemed to be friendly so far. They certainly seemed friendly to me. I mean, obviously I could go in to attack them right off the bat, but we're not going to do that. Because my race is also supposed to be friendly. So, alright, well, I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you decide whether or not you want to play the game. I think the game's actually extremely fun. There's so much variety each game, especially because you can choose a different race each time. And you can even design your own races. So, it just means being able to have even more fun. So, imagine the combinations that you could do with the different special abilities of the different empires and so forth. So, you can create and design your own ships in the shipyard. So I'll show you that real quick. But you can go to new design. So if you're into like the art and stuff of the game, each of these ships have their own kind of look and appeal. You can go to new design. And there's a number of ships already pre-designed. I've downloaded some of the default ones that other people have created. So like this one was something someone created and then posted. That looks pretty cool, right? Pretty cool stuff. Oh, it's not that pretty actually, but whatever. I downloaded it. It's cool. Someone put some time into it. This is all stuff that you can design completely yourself. So look at all these different components. So all these components went into the creation of the ship. You can remove them or add to them or whatever you want to do. Looks like it. This one's basically like a TIE fighter. Generic. Two components. Probe. Yeah, that does look like a probe, alright. Fun. These are the actual Mimot ones, though, right here. All of these ones. The generic Mimot ones. It's just a ridiculously small little probe. So you can put different things on them. Probe module, colony module, supply module. That's based on the technology that you've done. So obviously I haven't researched anything that gives me more defenses. And I haven't researched anything that can give me weapons yet. Different bonuses. I don't have any thulium. But I can put radar on it, give myself a censorship. Obviously these aren't going to do anything. Plus 20% of 0 is still 0, so those aren't going to change anything. And obviously you can make the ship go faster with different things, so yeah. Anyway, that's how to, just a little snippet. Each race has unique ships to them. They all look different. I think Earth actually has some of the best looking ships in the game. The Earthlings get really cool ships. I think they did a great job of designing them. So yeah, I'm going to close down the video here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more content, or just simply enjoy my channel. I hope it helps you out. Thanks a lot.